Hey peoples, this is another movie review of Farmageddon, a Shaun the Sheep movie, and this one's on Netflix. So this movie is brought to you by the same people who brought you Wallace and Gromit, so it has that same stop motion animation style and the same look of those films. And the story we have is that we have Shaun the Sheep and his other sheep friends on the farm. There's the farmer and there's a dog that's basically telling the sheep what they cannot do because the sheep are getting into a whole bunch of hijinks and he's there to tell them, no, behave, don't do that. But in the midst of all of this, an alien crash lands into the town. It somehow meets up with the sheep on the farm, and then the sheep become friends with the aliens and they also get into hijinks. But eventually they realize that they have to get the alien back home. But what they have to worry about is a government agency that is hunting the alien. And that's our A storyline. The B storyline is about the farmer who creates a theme park to capitalize on the alien craze that's happening in the rest of the town. So I will say that the story is overall pretty predictable in multiple spots. For instance, when you first meet the alien can mimic and copy any sound that it hears, and you know that's going to come up later on in the movie, and obviously it does. And there are little things like that that happen where you're just like, oh, okay, I know that this is going to equal that later on, and this is going to be brought up later on here, and you can guess multiple plot points in the movie. Now, the government agency is led by this woman, and she has a small little backstory that they show. I really enjoyed that part, and actually that's the part where the movie really picks up for me after they show her backstory. The unfortunate part is that that part doesn't take place until maybe the movie has around 35-ish minutes left. Before that, I was pretty bored watching this film. When you see the jokes coming, it's just really not that funny, and this is a movie without dialogue, so a lot of the jokes are physical humor. And it's a lot of physical jokes that we've seen many times before. Like they stick a bull inside of a china shop, and that's a joke. Like we see a character hammer a nail in one side of a board, and it pops out of the other side of the board, and then another character on the other side of the board takes a hammer and knocks it back into the other side of the board, and you're just like, oh, humorous, I guess. But the movie never made me laugh out loud whatsoever. There are a couple of humorous moments, but that's about it. A few times the movie plays with perspective. For instance, a frisbee will be flying and it looks like a UFO, but then it ends up being a frisbee and you're just like, oh, okay, that was nice. Or it looked like an alien ship, but then it's a lamp and that was really clever. But that's pretty much it. I feel like this movie is aimed towards little children because there is no dialogue here. It's all physical comedy. So you just sit your kid in front of the TV and have them watch things happening and not try to decipher necessarily what's going on. It's just noise in front of their faces. That's not to say this movie is bad, I just think it's kind of dull because it doesn't have that much creativity to me. Like I said, we've seen a lot of these jokes before, so it feels very stale and out of date, and I would have just liked them to be a little bit more clever with the rest of the jokes. But that's all, peoples. I personally wouldn't suggest watching this. I don't think it's worth it. But let me know what you think. If you did see it, if you were thinking about seeing it, write it down in the comments. I would love to talk to you about this movie. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing that. I do a bunch of movie reviews and we can talk about movies. If you have already subscribed, I really appreciate that. Thank you for listening. Please continue to have a great day. God bless. I'll talk to you later.